I think that regulation will only prolong the life of surveillance capitalism because it assumes that it can be fixed, and I don't think that it can be. Marc Andreessen's Techno-Optimist Manifesto that came out a couple weeks ago. It's still being discussed in the news. Did you read it? Oh, okay. So this is, I wish I
thought
had
you
it
were
in front
talking
of me.
about something else. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. So the Techno-Optimist Manifesto was basically, have you ever been on Twitter and you see like people put like E/ACC
E/ACC
like in their name or something like that? It's
Maybe.
ethical accelerationism. It's this so you know what I'm talking about. So So, without going too deep into the history of where this philosophy came from, but the Techno-Optimist Manifesto, Marc Andreessen, obviously big Silicon Valley VC. He's also one of the guys behind A16Z, Andreessen Horowitz. He funds a lot of the Web3 community, a lot of the crypto community. It comes from his fundraising, and his 5,000 word screed that he put out was basically like, technology is going to fix the world. Technology is good. We need to stop worrying about technology and ethics, technology, and we stop putting bridles on technology and just let technology accelerate us towards a utopian future. I mean, tell me that doesn't like fly in the face of everything we just talked about for the last 5-10 minutes.
That's very disturbing. I mean, social media is designed to take your attention away and place you in this world of distraction so you're not paying attention to what's really happening in reality.
Yeah.
Like TikTok. We already had the conversation of what TikTok is, what it means, why it's called TikTok. It's literally designed to take your attention away from everything else you're doing during the day.
I never thought.
See, I
Absolutely.
want to, agree with this guy, but when we talk about big data, right, and big data getting in bed with the State Department and legislation, legislation that persecutes women for their reproductive choices or persecutes trans people for even thinking about being trans. If they Google anything, it both becomes like deadly, like it's killing these people, but also how is that going to supplant any kind of grassroots kind of accelerationist, like, oh, we're going to go on Telegram and have a revolution or accelerate? Like, that's just not.
I think I hate to be, as an anarchist,
Man,
I like to think that I would agree with most of what Marc Andreessen's philosophy is, while similarly acknowledging everything that we've been talking about for like the last 15 minutes. There is something extremely detrimental about a lot of the surveillance capitalism we exist in, the ecosystem of surveillance capitalism we exist in. Very detrimental. I think that regulation will only prolong the life of surveillance capitalism because it assumes that it can be fixed, and I don't think that it can be. I think we must rocket past the paradigm that we live in into a new paradigm. We must look at decentralization, because what decentralization does is it doesn't prevent the government from monkeying with your data and doing negative things with your data, but it does give every individual, if in combination with Web3 AI and predictive analytics, it gives every individual the same capabilities as the government. It gives you asymmetric warfare, right? So just like what drones did in actual warfare, right? It reduces the cost. Ukraine is all on the verge of winning against one of the world's biggest superpower in Russia because of drones made out of cardboard that kamikaze Russian troops, right? Asymmetric warfare, right? One of the biggest superpowers in the world, maybe like the third most powerful army or second most powerful army, if you depending on how you calculate it, is losing against a bunch of guys with cardboard drones, right? This is the world that we're possibly talking about, where decentralization and AI enable individuals to have the same power as massive governments and corporations.
All right, so that's a great point. Now I want to make 2 points.
Go for it.
One, in this world of technology, it's very important to, decipher why people say certain things and what the true motive behind their sayings are. Now, as much as whatever is written could be true or false, the reality is this guy runs the biggest tech VC in the world. So his agenda is for sure to continue pushing this tech as much as humanly possible, and this is the most extreme and apparent version of that. He wrote a manifesto saying utopian society, which we all know is impossible. Now, that's my first point. My second point is that there are a lot of things that are probably absolutely true in this manifesto. For sure, it's factually proven that technology has improved humans' lives. Mm-hmm. I think you can also just as much say it's factually proven it's hurt our lives too. So I think it's just important to consider both sides. This person obviously is only considering one side because that's their reality. They're very disconnected from the average person who, lives a normal life, makes an average salary, and has to, deal with the hardships of being an average person. So, of course, that person is so disconnected from that. And so to apply this in all things is very hard to do because, again, where there are, positive benefits, there are probably just as many equal disadvantages.
Hey, thanks for watching The Merge. We've got a ton more stuff for you to watch on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, everywhere. Check us out.